You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Oh yeah, baby, that's lovely.
Good morning, it's July the 13th, and welcome to Psychedelics and Cannabis Educational News, your cannabis and psychedelic news source found here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com. Good morning, Glenn. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, Al. It's nice and sunny where I am.
Oh, well, I've been listening to thunder boomers and rain and the wind blowing it so much that I can't do the broadcast from outside. I'm having to do it from inside the house today, but nevertheless, the show goes on. And talking about shows going on today, I'm filling in for Cindy because Cindy's too high. And I sort of mean that configuratively because she's probably about 35,000 feet in the air right now, making her way out west to go pick up her Volkswagen van that she's going to tour home with. So I'll be filling in. Actually, I'm going to be filling in for Cindy probably for a few weeks, being that it's going to take her a while to get home.
And it sounds like it's going to be an amazing trip.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm looking forward. I'm hoping she does some type of report, and I've mentioned that to her about doing some type of report on her Token Talk show. So hopefully she does some type of report if she has any reception, or you can't always. There's a lot of dead air spots out there.
Yep, I guess there is. I haven't driven across the prairie since I was about 11 years old, so maybe
I was 18. I was 18 at the time, 19, maybe somewhere in there when I went out there. But other than that, so what do you say? We get on with the news?
Sure.
All right, we got stories coming to you from Canada, the U.S., Australia, and even Africa. So let's get at her. First up, we're just getting started. Illegal psilocybin dispensary in Windsor, Ontario vows to fight for legalization. This comes to us from CTV.
Fun Guys sells magic mushrooms out of their storefront, which has already been raided by police once. We're clearly pro-legalization, co-owner Edgar Gorbins told CTV News Windsor Tuesday in an interview. We just hope that having these stores open will draw some attention to the topic of psilocybin and the problems that are involved in accessing psilocybin.
Fun Guys was raided by Windsor police on July the 6th, where officers seized nearly half a pound of dried psilocybin mushrooms, more than 1,000 capsules, and other psilocybin-infused products. And an employee in the Windsor store Tuesday, who did not wish to be identified, admitted they had a lot more stock before the raid.
We have been able to open up as soon as a few hours after a raid, said Gorbins, and we have customers that are waiting as soon as the police leave for us to continue serving. With 10 other stores, Gorbin said they expected this level of scrutiny and hopes it leads to a bigger conversation about accessing a drug that he believes can help Canadians.
I can remember when they opened up the first one in Toronto and people said that they'd never survive. And as you just read there, 10 other stores they've grown.
Unfortunately, we're reading this story, but Quebec's going through the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. We're just getting started. We hope that the word gets out. As of January 2022, Canadians can apply through the Special Access Program, SAP, for legal prescriptions for the drug. If you went to your doctor right now and try to get this exception, you'd be looking at such a long wait, and the chances of actually being approved are so small that it's essentially impossible, according to Gorbins.
And John Gilchrist of Sarah Sil, Psilocybin Advocacy Group agrees. If SAP doesn't provide wide access to a larger patient population that we believe and we know could benefit from psilocybin, said Gilchrist, there's only a few patient populations we're seeing that are getting access, and they're mainly treatment-resistant conditions such as depression and patients at the end of life experiencing anxiety.
According to Gilchrist, who admitted he isn't a doctor or a scientist, Psilocybin allows the brain to reset. That part of your brain quiets during the psilocybin journey. It allows other parts of your brain to connect and talk and figure out problems that you may be dealing with, he says.
And Health Canada warns against the use of psilocybin. While clinical trials with psilocybin have shown promising results at this time, there are no approved therapeutic products containing psilocybin in Canada or elsewhere, the website reads.
Yeah, they've been saying that for 20 years for cannabis, too.
Yeah.
Health Canada said taking magic mushrooms may cause you to see, hear, or feel things that are not there, or experience anxiety, fear, nausea, and muscle twinges, accompanied by increased heart rate and blood pressure. Gilchrist believes if the medical community can come together to agree that psilocybin can help someone at the end of their life, they should be able to discuss the concept of letting Canadians access it legally well before that.
If we're going to offer people medical assistance in dying, we need to also offer them medical assistance in living as well. Perfectly said. Both
Makes sense
Gilchrist,
to me.
both Gilchrist and Gorbins agree. The current debate over legalization of psilocybin is very similar to the path taken when advocates who fought for the legalization of cannabis.
And Garbin's called it ridiculous how long it took to legalize cannabis, and he calls on the decision makers to take a more open-minded approach to what is we're trying to achieve. I think what they're doing is commendable in the sense that it's trying to push towards something, says John Lutke.
In 2016, he opened Higher Limits, a cannabis lounge in downtown Windsor. Leidke said it was a place for medicinal cannabis users to consume their cannabis. We had been seeing an ongoing persecution of cannabis users, which led to arrest, which led to future problems in life for something that is a benign plant, quite frankly, said Leidke.
Ultimately, Higher Limits was forced to close 2 months after cannabis was legalized because it violated Ontario's anti-smoking laws. Exactly. What we wanted to do was help to normalize and stigmatize cannabis usage. And we like to think that the space we had did a very important job of it here locally in Windsor. And I gotta agree, they did. And Toronto, they had a lot of them.
He cautioned psilocybin advocates that it's a long road to legalization. Cannabis took 25 years of actual legal access already before it got to recreational access. They're not on the same path.
It's going to take a while.
But it seems like we read a lot of stories where they are getting at least some good results.
Yeah.
With PTSD and depression and things like that. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's lots of medical stuff that's been coming through, and cannabis was the same thing. It's I'm thinking that maybe the mushroom thing won't take as long. I'm thinking that it wasn't as stigmatized as cannabis was.
I think you're right there.
Yeah. So, all right, on to the next story. It's a marijuana moment. DeSantis signs bill banning hemp chewing gum and other cannabis products for people under the age of 21 in Florida.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is a Republican, 2024 Republican presidential candidate, has signed a bill banning sales of any consumable hemp products, including cannabis chewing gum, to people under 21, an expansion of an existing prohibition on young people being able to purchase smokable hemp. I find it funny that they have to be 21 to get smokable hemp, but they can go to war and die at 18.
Yeah. And don't forget, hemp doesn't get you high.
Yeah. The legislation, SB 1676, from Senator Colleen Burton, who's also a Republican, was signed into law last week and took effect on Saturday. It also creates penalties for businesses that market hemp in a way that's appealing to children and bans products that look like candy or are manufactured in the shape of humans, cartoons, or animals.
The bill prohibits the sale of hemp extract, including but not limited to snuff, chewing gum, and other smokeless products to people under 21. A person who violates the revised statute would be subject to second-degree misdemeanor for a first offense and first degree for misdemeanor for a second or subsequent offenses within 1 year of the initial violation. The measure also says that hemp extract products found to be mislabeled or attractive to children are subject to an immediate stop sale order.
Additionally, the newly implemented law imposes rules on hemp product packaging. It requires, for example, that the containers mitigate exposure to high temperatures, do not appeal to children. Further, the bill amends statute to make it so hemp products can only be sold if they are processed in a facility that holds a current and valid permit issued by a human health or food safe regulatory entity with authority over the facility, and that facility meets the human health or food safety sanitization requirements of the regulatory entity. Sounds like they're just going to add layer upon layer upon layer.
Yeah. And well, the legislation, as introduced, would have capped the THC limit of hemp products. It's not. It's how much? How much could you cap it? It's only 0.3 now. Like, come on.
People don't know this in Florida, though. They're not telling them this, you know.
Yeah, but they say that was amended out in a House committee in April following significant pressure from the hemp industry representatives. DeSantis signed the bill without significantly commenting on it, and the government separately signed a measure last week that prohibits sober living facilities from allowing residents to possess or use medical cannabis, even if the patient is certified by a doctor to legally use cannabis therapeutically in accordance with state law. So,
and I hope this goes to court, because it will be struck down, because this is bullshit in the highest order. This will help them overcome at least some of their the alcoholism problems, right? I'm not going to say it solves everything, but it helps with it, and I've heard that 1,000 times.
And is it a sober center not only for alcohol, but is it a sober center for maybe other drugs and like opiate addiction? And as we know, well, we'll get into that here very shortly. That cannabis is helped reduce the amount of opiates that people take or cut them right off.
Definitely, it's a very minor medical substance that helps you overcome other substances that are way worse for you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, on to the next headline. Study: medical cannabis improves quality of life in 91% of veterans. Oh, look at this. It reduced opioid use.
So what if those veterans are alcoholics, or a couple of them are?
Yeah.
They're not allowed to use this now. Okay. According to a new study, 91% of veterans reported that medicinal cannabis helped them to experience a greater quality of life, and a considerable percentage said it reduced their use of opioids and over-the-counter medications, just as you said a minute ago.
Yeah.
The study is published in the journal Clinical Therapeutics and was conducted by researchers at the University of Utah, Rider University in New Jersey, and the University of Massachusetts. The full text of the study can be found, and there's a link there.
Yeah. Mental and other physical health concerns and substance use disorders are common in co-occurring events experienced by U.S. veterans, states the study's abstract. Treatment with medicinal cannabis is a potential alternative to unwanted medication use for veterans, but more clinical and epidemiological research is needed to understand the risks and benefits. For this study, data was collected from a cross-sectional, self-reported anonymous survey asking U.S. veterans about their health conditions, medical treatments, demographics, and medicinal cannabis use, along with its self-reported effectiveness. In addition to subjective statistics, logistics regression models were run to examine correlates of the use of cannabis as a substitution for prescription or over-the-counter medications.
And according to the study, a total of 510 veterans of the U.S. military service participated in the survey, which was administered between March 3rd and December 31st, 2019. Primary health conditions reported included chronic pain, PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Most participants reported using cannabis daily, 67% of them. Many reported using cannabis to reduce the use of over-the-counter medications, including antidepressants, anti-inflammatories, and other prescription medications, states the study. Additionally, 463 veterans, which was 93% of the respondents, reported that medicinal cannabis helped them to experience a greater quality of life, and 105 of them reported using fewer opioids as a result of their medical cannabis use.
There you go. Veterans who were Black, who were female, who served in combat or active combat, and who are living with chronic pain were more likely to report a desire to reduce the number of prescription medications that they were taking. In addition, women and individuals who use cannabis daily were more likely to report active use of cannabis to reduce prescription medication use. The implications of the study, according to researchers. Go ahead, Glenn.
Medicinal cannabis use was reported to improve quality of life and reduce unwanted medication use by many of the study's participants. The present findings indicate that medicinal cannabis can potentially play a harm reduction role. Not according to DeSantis, it can't. Helping veterans to use fewer pharmaceutical medications and other substances. Clinicians should be mindful of the potential associations between race, sex, and combat experience, and the intentions for and frequency of medicinal cannabis use.
There you go. You know, I always like those studies.
I can't understand how you can read these studies over and over and over again, and then they go completely the opposite way. Is it anything to do with logic, or is it just politics? I don't understand.
Politics. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. You know, a lot of help that can be going on there, and they implement laws to fight it. So,
they're hurting people, though, and that's what I don't understand. Yeah. They're actually going against people, veterans that need this.
Yeah. It was 91% of them out of the 530 that they did the survey on. Quality of life went up.
Yeah, and what would you want for your veterans? You want the quality of life to go up for anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Especially the people, the veterans that
risk their lives for the country, and then you go to a place that's supposed to be free, and you're told that you can't do that.
Yeah, we hear a lot about freedom there.
Yeah. All right, on to the next story. This is from Gaunter Rainier, and this is the UC San Diego researchers gifted $1.5 million to study effects of DMT on the brain.
The University of that's the same thing. University of California, San Diego Psychedelics and Health Research Initiative has received $1.5 million gift to study the effects of DMT on the brain. Philanthropist Eugene Hong, I guess it is, gifted the funds to the university for the research. John Dean, who's a PhD and a postdoctoral scholar in the UC San Diego Department of Anesthesiology, and the director of the Division of DMT Research for the UC San Diego Psychedelic Health and Research Initiative, is one of the principal investigators of the study. In previous research, Dean discovered that endogenous DMT also exists in the rat brain at levels comparable to serotonin, a neurotransmitter vital to brain function.
Yeah, in a press release, Dean says our goals are to employ multi-module approaches to study extended state consciousness. I can't even pronounce that word. By the effects by DMT to further appreciate the nature of reality as well as the role of endogenous DMT in the human body. Reliable methods for measuring DMT directly in the human brain and body fluids do not exist. So the intriguing possibilities that endogenous DMT may play a role in consciousness, dreaming, and protecting the brain from trauma are still scientific speculation.
UC San Diego is currently the only university in the U.S. that has a dedicated division to conduct extended state DMT research. In a statement, Hong said he is pleased to support this initiative effort to explore extended DMT, and he's confident it will shed new and important insight into the question of our true nature.
Fidel Zidane, who's PhD associate professor at the Department of Anathological at UC San Diego School of Medicine, said the researchers' long-term objective is to gain better understanding of how DMT and other psychedelics could be used in therapeutic manner to address pain, trauma, and various medical conditions related to the brain. Who would have thought? You know?
10 years ago, we never heard of anything like this.
No, I know, eh? It's just things have just moved so quickly.
I think once people realized that the government was BSing them on cannabis, it kind of moved the ball forward for a whole bunch of other ideas to come to light.
Yeah, because these are just always people looked at them as being recreational drugs, just to get high.
And really, really bad ones at that.
Yeah, bad ones at that, exactly. All right, let's go to we'll do one more story here, and then we'll go to a break, and we're gonna head down under because we're heading down to Australia. Because down there, according to StratCan, Australian cannabis legalization bill could be tabled as early as August, according to the senator.
Australian Greens Senator David Shoebridge has been leading the charge for legalization down under. The hopes to table a new legislation in August in federal parliament. The goal of Australia's Green is to establish a federal framework for the legalization and regulation of cannabis rather than taking a state-by-state patchwork approach. The Australian Capital Territory, ACT, became the first jurisdiction in Australia to legalize cannabis for adult use in 2019, and legislation has been introduced in South Australia.
The bill's proposed age of access is 18. And adults would be allowed to grow up to 6 plants at home with no upper possession limit. Retail sales are envisioned in cannabis cafes that can also facilitate outdoor consumption spaces. All right.
This is what we've been trying to get in Canada, where it's been illegal for a little while.
Yeah. Now, Senator David Shoebridge, he says that what we have created with this bill is a core set of principles for an ethical cannabis market that is controlled by individuals and small businesses rather than big pharma, big tobacco, or big alcohol.
The Greens research shows that the market in Australia is worth around Australian 1 or 15 billion, and says the government could bring in nearly 30 million in the first decade of legalization, but also focuses on issues of justice reform, especially for the country's First Nations population, and desire for a more locally run market. This bill could legalize cannabis in one go across the country with a simple and coherent national scheme for growing, distribution, sales, and taxation, he told Crikey in April. I assume that's a magazine or a newspaper. What we have created with this bill is a core set of principles for an ethical cannabis market that is controlled by individuals and small business rather than the big pharma, big tobacco, or big alcohol.
Yeah. Shoebridge has also said the bill was inspired by trying to find a middle ground between a tightly controlled market like Canada and a very Wild West approach of the U.S. We have learned from the experience in other jurisdictions and tried to draw a middle path between the let it rip corporate markets in the U.S. and the more tightly controlled government supply.
And we don't want the market to be dominated by a handful of large corporations, but we certainly don't want to be the fun police either. Senator Shoebridge's office provided a few answers for StratCan on their plans for legalization, on how they have concluded an extensive public feedback process. You can read these replies below.
Yeah. There's a whole slew of questions and answers. I'm just sort of scrolling through them. We're not going to go through them all, but yeah.
There's a part of it they're talking about. They're taking lessons from the Canadian model.
Oh yeah. Well, let's see what they got to say there. Where does it say? Can you share some of the ways Canada experienced informs the legislation with legalizing cannabis? Okay.
Yeah, and the bill takes lessons from the Canadian model, with cannabis able to be purchased by adults from licensed dealers and cannabis cafes, retail, and consumption spaces. We also have tried to learn lessons from Canada's experience of legalization in our draft legislation looks to have a market that is more democratic, more decentralized, and less corporate. That sounds perfect. Good job.
Yeah. What should Canadians know about the political appetite in Australia? Yeah. Well, I say it's good news, anyways. Yeah.
Let's see when this actually passes how much they've cut
yeah.
out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure we'll keep an eye on that one. See what happens down the road.
It sounds like a great framework. I really like what they put forward there, at least.
Yeah, good. All right, what do you say? Time for us to take a break?
See you on the other side.
All right. That commercial time, it's time to hear from those who help us inform our viewers. You're watching Psychedelics and Cannabis Educational News here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com.
Is 420 camping your thing? Do you like cannabis cups? Want to learn more about cannabis? Enjoy music festivals? Living on the East Coast or looking for a really good reason to visit? Then Harvest Fest is calling your name.
Join us the weekend of July 14th to 16th at Fox Mountain Camping Park in the Annapolis Valley, Nova Scotia, to meet like-minded people, have your cannabis questions answered, listen to great bands, and have a blast.
Service lots available and camping is included in festival admission. $60 for the weekend or $30 for Friday and $40 for Saturday. Food trucks, hot showers, flush toilets, and accessible washrooms. Rolling contest sponsored by Canadian Lumber Limited with chances to win a case of rolling papers and more throughout the weekend.
For info about attending or vending, email chair@mumm.ca. Hope to see you there.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
When you think of the number of unique products developed in the fields, kitchens, and labs at Legacy 420, it's hard to think that one stands out above the rest. But tell that to the thousands of people who have tried this amazing breakthrough product.
This is our Sacred Salve. This is actually our extra strength. It comes in 5 different strengths. It's all natural, all organic. It typically works within 10 to 15 minutes of putting it on. It's good for arthritis, it's good for inflammation, any kind of pain. We're very proud of it.
Sacred Salve, so easy to apply, along with soothing relief. To select a strength that's right for you, come in and talk to your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Pace Radio Network, by patients, for patients, and for those who want to know.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you a cannabis content creator? Are you looking for a place to have your content seen? If you answer yes to both questions, then you need to check out cbgtv.com.
Let's share Pace everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education. Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0555 420. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hey, we're back for our medication session and ready to bring you some more cannabis and psychedelics news. Right, Glenn?
Yes, we are. Starting right off with the mushrooms again.
That's right. Going to Berkeley. Marijuana Moment says the Berkeley, California City Council approves psychedelics reform resolution.
Berkeley, California City Council has approved a resolution to deprioritize the enforcement of laws prohibiting psychedelics. Members voted to adopt the measure on Tuesday evening as part of a consent calendar, just hours after the bill to legalize the possession and facilitated use of certain psychedelics like psilocybin, ayahuasca, advanced through a state assembly committee.
The local resolution, sponsored by Council Member Sophie Hahn, has previously approved by the Council's Health, Life, Enrichment, Equity, and Community Committee. Hahn says that Berkeley has long been a leader on progressive legislation when it comes to criminal justice and cannabis reform in particular. Today's resolution builds on that legacy.
Overall, the proposal calls on police to scale back the enforcement of laws against all ethnogenic substances, excluding peyote-derived mescaline. I wonder why they excluded that one. The whereas section of the resolution notes that several California municipalities, such as Oakland and Santa Cruz, have already moved to enact local psychedelics reform.
It adds that there are criminal justice concerns associated with investigating, arresting, and incarcerating people for personal use of entheogens, psychedelics, and it is important to balance criminal justice concerns with public health concerns when crafting just and responsible policy. Further, the resolution makes it the official policy of the city for local law enforcement to de-emphasize the use of city funds and resources to assist in the enforcement of laws, imposing criminal penalties for the possession of plant or fungus biosynthetics, psychedelic drugs for personal use, and for the cultivation, processing, and preparation of psychedelic drug-containing plants and fungi for personal use.
Wow, that's cool. I like that. Under the proposal, gifting, distributing, selling, or administering the psychedelics would not be authorized.
Grow your own, yeah.
Yeah, you can't even give it to your friend, which is kind of strange to me. The measure was amended prior to the vote to incorporate input from the city's attorney's office. There were several technical changes, as well as a revision clarifying that the reform does not authorize people to share or administer ethnogenic plants and fungi to organizations and groups of people. It originally only said that people weren't authorized to give away psychedelics to individuals.
Oh,
yeah.
The wording is important. Yeah.
Yeah.
The city of Berkeley declares its support for transparent, comprehensive public conversation about the potential to open access to psychedelic drugs in a way that might be safe, beneficial, ethical, and equitable, and urges the California state legislature to take part in this conversation and consider passing legislation that addresses the relevant issues, the resolution adds.
The measure that the council approved on Tuesday was modified from an earlier psychedelics reform proposal approved by the Berkeley Community Health Commission. The resolution doesn't explicitly reference SB 58, a bill from Senator Scott Wiener, who's a Democrat, that passed the Senate, is advancing at the committee level in the Assembly.
Wiener said last month that the proposal is up against a challenging road towards passage because of its unexpected referral to the Assembly Health Committee. But the bill overcame that obstacle on Tuesday when the panel voted to pass it along to the next committee. SB 58 would legalize the possession, preparation, obtaining, transfer, as specified, or transportation of specific amounts of psilocybin, DMT, ibogaine, and mescaline for personal or facilitated use. However, a recent amendment makes it so commercial use could only be authorized after the state develops a regulatory framework for such activity.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's like commercializing the whole bit.
Yeah, I think that's the way it's going.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. I think it helps people. I really do.
Oh yeah. We're reading about it every week, twice a week. Mondays and Thursdays. All right, on to the next story. We're heading off to Africa because down there, the parliament passes the NACOC Bill to allow cannabis cultivation for industrial and medical purposes. This comes to us from Africa News.
And Ghana's parliament has passed into law the Narcotic Control Commission Bill 2023. As a result, the Ministry of Interior has been bestowed with the responsibility of issuing licenses for the cultivation of cannabis, opening up avenues for the utilization of this versatile plant in various beneficial applications. This milestone achievement comes after the Supreme Court intervened and declared Section 43 of the law as unconstitutional, thereby hindering the smooth passage of the legislation.
Another court telling the government that your laws against cannabis are unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Section 43 of the Act 1019 previously authorized the minister, based on the Commission's recommendation, to grant licenses for the cultivation of cannabis, commonly known as weed, in Guyana. However, this provision has been eliminated due to its unconstitutional nature. On the 12th of July, Parliament took up the Narcotics Control Commission Amendment Bill, which consists of a single clause that, once passed, will empower the minister to grant licenses for cannabis cultivation within the country.
With the enactment of this law, Ghana takes a significant step towards harnessing the potential benefits of cannabis cultivation. By allowing the controlled cultivation of cannabis with limited THC content, the government aims to tap into its industrial potential and explore its use in the production of fiber and seed. Moreover, the medicinal properties of cannabis can now be further explored and utilized in a regulated manner. I wonder why they want to control the THC content and use it for industrial. Why are they not just growing hemp?
Yeah.
This legislative milestone is expected to pave the way for the development of a well-regulated cannabis industry in Ghana, ensuring that its cultivation and usage adhere to strict guidelines and quality standards.
There you go.
Well, it's a start. It's a start, I guess. I think they're kind of confusing cannabis and hemp here.
Yeah, well, yeah. As far as the THC end of things, that's for sure. And they want to do it for the fiber, and the seeds. Obviously, it'd be nice if they had the stuff with the THC in it in order to do the research on the medicinal end of things.
Yeah.
Well,
other countries are doing it.
Yeah. All right, we're off to Maryland. Maryland cannabis sales topped $20 million during the first week. Just the first week, $20 million.
In Maryland, which is a very small state. Combined medical and adult use cannabis sales in Maryland totaled $20.9 million during the first week of retail sales, CBS News reports. The split between adult use and medical sales was nearly even, but medical cannabis sales were slightly higher, the report says. The bulk of the sales were realized during the July 4th weekend, of course. According to Maryland Cannabis Administration data, total medical and adult use sales totaled 10,429,736 on July 4th and 4,518,377 on July 5th. Wow. During the weekend, adult use sales far outpaced medical cannabis sales at 3.5 million and 959,000 respectively.
Wow, that's a lot of cannabis. Linda Condon, a clinical director at Nature Care Wellness, told CBS News that the business had almost 2,000 new customers come through the door in 7 days. Wow. Adult use cannabis sales in Maryland are taxed at 9%. 35% of the proceeds are used for the Community Investment and Repair Fund established by the General Assembly in the legalization law.
I'd like to know what the general repair fund is supposed to be used for. Andrew Garrison, a representative of Maryland Cannabis Administration, told CBS News that the fund was meant to help communities that have been disproportionately harmed by cannabis prohibition. Nice. In January, the state expects to begin licensing social equity businesses, which are defined under the law as businesses owned by individuals who live in an area or have been personally affected by the war on drugs.
There you go.
Nice.
Nice. Another one. That's what we talked about last night with AC, was the fact that here in Canada, there was none of that going on, and like expungement of criminal records, and she was just blown away.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Last story of the day. Looking over at the time there. Wow, we're really just flying here. All right.
Happens.
It happens. A couple short stories.
This is a really, really interesting headline, this one.
Yeah, I haven't read this yet, but I'm just looking at the headline. My boyfriend tried to kill me with a cannabis gummy.
Well,
all right, let's see what this is all about, Glenn. I haven't got a clue.
Well, perhaps not intentionally, but I'm sticking with the story that I nearly died, and it's all his fault. And this is a little tongue-in-cheek by the sound of it. Yes,
it sounds like it.
Yes, you can get too high, and yes, you can have adverse reactions to THC.
Somehow, I managed to do both yesterday, and it's my boyfriend's fault for sure. Here, you might like this CBD THC gummy. I took half of it yesterday, and it felt wonderful, he said. And that little yellow gummy looked so innocent.
That morning and the preceding night, I've been sick on my tummy all freaking day. My fault, sloppy diet. Yeah, okay, so I probably lost a lot of fluid. And I was feeling beat. My head was beginning to hurt. I knew I was dehydrated. Perhaps this was my first mistake, not just drinking water and resting my body, instead of what followed.
Fast forward to the afternoon. I've been working all day and nursing that sickly tummy when I got a bad news phone call. It threw me. I mean, head first into anxiety. I was pacing the floor and feeling quite anxious. This is nothing new. I usually manage my anxiety rather well, but I was too busy putting off a crisis fire that I didn't have time for that deep breathing bullshit.
The moment of stupidity. I spy the half chewed off gummy on my couch side table. Without thinking, well, with a little thinking, cannabis helps a sick belly, and it can help with anxiety when that's on the ceiling, right? So down the hatch, the tiny yellow gummy went. It was rather tasty. I stayed on the phone dealing with the crisis and felt fine until I didn't.
I'll try to summarize the best way that I can, because clearly the next 24 hours were quite distorted. Number one, I started feeling a little woozy while talking on the phone, maybe really woozy. I couldn't wait to just get off the phone and lay down somewhere, even though the phone call I was making were to deal with a crisis.
My tummy cramped terribly, and I just wanted to get to sleep. For the record, I do not sleep. I'm not a sleeper. I hate sleeping. What a waste of time. But in that moment, I felt like sleep or die. I tried to lay on the couch and take a little nap. The loud head buzzing started. Oh no. I'm thinking, that gummy was way the fuck too much for me. What now?
The whole world explodes into colors and movement that doesn't make sense. It makes me feel sick. I know I need to drink water. I get to the kitchen and get it from the fridge. I drink 2 glasses and try again to lay down, this time on a different couch.
I texted my boyfriend and said that something like, gummy, too much. I feel bad. I assumed you'd get the message. Swoop in and save my way too high ass. I should probably point out from here that I do not get high. Like I don't smoke that green stuff or eat those mushroom things or anything. Nope, not me. I've taken THC before and it made me anxious, so I swore never again. But here we are. Me being open-minded, me being dumb, and now me being floaty and weird, and why the fuck is my mouth so dry?
I am in the bed. It's still daylight. I can't keep my eyes open, but when I close them, my head peels open and colors ooze out. Sometimes I am in the sky or in the woods or being followed by something terrible. I hear sounds that don't make sense. The bed is moving. Maybe I am not even on the bed. My belly hurts. Why is my head open? I feel seasick. Make it stop, please.
Panic attacks roll through me in waves or twists or something. I think I might be dying, maybe a heart attack. I've had a stroke or something. Someone help me. I'm alone and the world is changing into fluid. I want to cry. I feel cold and shaky and sweaty and terrified. Someone make this stop. There are cramps and twitches and pains, and I don't know where they're all coming from. My face feels so big. My teeth hurt. I feel like I'm grinding them, but I can't make it stop.
I hate this. I am scared. My muscles are jumping. My neck keeps screwing up tight. My breathing feels weird. I am so scared. Is whomever home yet? I think I hear him. I can't open my mouth. It's stuck shut. I am so thirsty. I can't move.
I try to go to the bathroom and all the floors are crooked. I'm in the bathroom and I'm not sure how I got there. Which way is the door? Someone help me. I can't walk. I'm in the hallway. There is his face. He is laughing. I want to tell him I am scared. He is helping me walk.
We are on the couch. Cartoons. He is laughing again. He is looking at me weird. I can't open my mouth. Wonder if she's seeing a Roger Rabbit male. He is on the chair now, so far away. He is eating. Good. I forgot the food was still cooking. He got it. Oh, thank goodness. I'm not hungry. I just want to sleep.
I can't walk right. I'm outside. I am smoking. There is only one cigarette left, but I can't say words about it. I am out here for a long time. I can't seem to make my body move. Is it raining? Mosquitoes enjoy my back. Something is biting my toe. An ant? I just want to go to sleep. How long before this is over? I can't make my legs move. I double over and try to lay my head on my knees. My belly is screaming in pain. He is here checking on me. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He is here checking on me. Please help me get inside. I can't say the words out loud. He looks at me weird. It's not funny. I want to scream at him, but my lips are moving in pulsating buzziness, and they aren't making words. The back of my head is spilling out. I am scared again. Help me.
I find my way in. It is dark now. He tells me he's showering and going to bed, and he walks away. Words made sense. But was he being cold? Is he mad? Help me, I am thinking. He talks to me, and I don't know if I am talking back. I get into bed. He is not there. My dog needs to eat.
He is feeding my dog. I hear him whispering to her. I can't feel my face. My mind is swirling, and it won't sit still for me to sleep. Hold me. I hate this. He is in bed. So am I. I count his breaths to steady my own.
I sleep. I get up and eat a bowl of cereal. I sleep some more. I get up again. I eat another bowl of cereal. I sleep again. I get up and drink a glass of chocolate milk. I sleep again. I wake up and he's gone back to work.
I wake up this morning groggy, embarrassed, and thankful it's all over. And my phone is a graveyard of missed calls.
Honestly, I feel a little annoyed that I felt so alone during the whole thing. I think a hug would have helped me so much. It wasn't funny. I was fucking miserable and terrified. And I don't know why it hit me like that. But I want answers. I am not a get high kind of person. Give me a nice glass of wine and I'm good to go. But getting high, no, never been my thing. And the one time I tried it before, I got all anxious and paranoid. My stoner friends and my boyfriend all tell me I haven't tried the right thing yet, and that gummies or other edibles might be better for me.
So I have used them off and on for a few months. Sometimes I feel relaxed. I have never had one send my mind and body into orbit. A fractional, changing, terrifying, sickly, dark experience, and I hated every minute of it.
I need you stoner people to answer me some questions. Please note that gummy contains THC, Delta 8 and 9, and CBD, but clearly in higher quantities than what I'd taken before. I have questions.
After reading my experience above, what the fuck happened? Does this mean I had a bad high? It got really high. Got really high.
Yeah. Does
Yeah.
this mean
Does this
I am
mean I am
sensitive?
sensitive to THC, or did I just take too much?
Is it normal to be so terrified the whole time? Is it normal to feel sick like that? What the fuck was my mouth so miserably dry and my tummy cramped to all hell?
How could I make that expensive experience end sooner? And HTF? Is that what that says? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How the F?
How can I make sure this shit never fucking happens again? And I mean, is there no way I can use THC products, or do I just need to be careful of the amount? Well, be careful of the amount, and maybe use a topical.
Please help me understand all this because my asshole stoner boyfriend is far too busy laughing at me. Thanks for being here to share my story with me. I'm a 50-plus woman out here just trying to get my sexy on and live my sexiest life, even though this story wasn't so sexy.
Until the next time, toodles all. So there you go. It's somebody's experience. I look at that, like you and I are chuckling and having a bit of fun with it. But
she wrote it in a comic sense.
yeah, but on the serious end of things, there are people who who can get really, like, for myself, like, I've been smoking cannabis for 20 years, like steady for 20 years, and then one day, and eating, baked goods, all that type of stuff. I've had capsules, and then one day someone gave me some chocolates, and holy fuck, it floored me. I couldn't believe it. I just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I knew.
I had that kind of experience with my wife's cookies.
Yeah.
I'm the experiment. Here, eat this and see if it's good, right? Well,
yeah.
I had 2 cookies, and normally I have no problem with 2 cookies. It just relaxes me. And this time it was quite potent, way more potent than I'm used to.
Yeah, I had these 2 little chocolates, like this big, whatever, not huge. And the package said 200 milligrams a piece. I thought, oh, the package I ate last night said 500 milligrams, and I didn't get anything off of it. Wow. So I ate these 400 milligrams chocolates, not even thinking about it. And the next thing I knew, I was having problems staying on the sidewalk.
So you think it's a mislabeling thing, right?
Well, yeah, it was. I'm assuming it might have been a guesstimate of the THC level that was in it. And I hadn't been that high in 20 years.
I noticed when I was in Ontario. Oh, sorry. I noticed when I was in Ontario that on the reserves they have a range of THC now in the products. They don't say
well, they
like 23 there. They say it's between 19 and 23.
Yeah, we get that in the OCS stores arranged because patch variances and stuff like that.
Yeah, here in New Brunswick we don't have that. They just say it's 20%. Whatever they think it is, right? And I don't even know how scientific it is.
Well, there's even questionable conduct going on when it comes to the testing. They don't, because there is no standard procedure across the country.
That's something that maybe the government should be concentrating on.
No, they're just making sure that we don't have gummies that look like little bears and people.
Well, at least we have Legacy 420. They're testing everything.
Yeah, they test everything down there, and people know what they're getting. And they've run into that where they've had customers says, well, I bought this product at such place, and it didn't do anything. But when I consume your products, it kicks me in the ass. Like, what's the difference? Test
what it says on the label is there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big difference. That was a pretty good story, very well written.
Yeah, it was. But I was like, when you first said, what is this all about, right? It was one of those ones I wanted to read, but I also like to be surprised or react naturally when you're reading stories.
Well, when you read that headline, you don't know which way she's going to go, right? She went the funny route, and I really like the way she wrote it.
Yeah, and talked about a lot of the experience that she talked about what she went through, or things that I've seen and been told about, and things like that with people when they've consumed too much. And laying down, going to sleep, like that day when I consumed that 400 milligrams, it put me on my ass. I had to finish. I was told you're done. What you're doing now, and I was offered a ride home. I took the ride home, and I came home and slept for 3.5 hours.
Nice. And everything was fine after that. No problems.
Yeah.
Can you imagine someone who's not used to THC
That's
taking those
the thing.
2 chocolates that you did? And that's where we run into a problem.
Correct. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I'm experienced and I have the wits in my head to know that, a lot of people deal with anxiety when they get really high and they're scared and they're worried and all that.
Yeah.
But when you know, and go to sleep, get some rest, and you'll be good.
Yeah, just relax.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only advice I can give anybody who's going to consume edibles, take it easy, take it slow. That's it.
Take it easy, take it slow. You got her. That's right.
Yeah. It takes a long time to kick in. So don't start eating anymore because it didn't kick in.
In time. All right, Glenn, we got to go. Got anything you want to say before we leave?
Peace.
All right. From legacy420.com.
Have a great trip, Cindy.
Yeah, have a great trip, Cindy.
Sorry,
I hope you stay.
Yeah.
You'll be up there. I don't know where she's somewhere along the ways, anyways. And 35,000 feet up there in the plane. She's too high to do the show. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So, well, that's the news for today. We hope you found it educational and informative. Thanks to the folks at Legacy 420, the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, Limestone City Hydroponics, and to our viewers. Catch our next report Monday with Glenn and I, because Kelly has got the day out. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.